Good afternoon, everyone. It is I, Shad, and we are back with the Wrestling Republic Daily Podcast. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's Monday Night Raw review. We had another eventful Monday Night Raw, a lot going on. We on the road to SummerSlam, a lot of storylines progressing. We're going to break it all down today. Um, we'll say it's a little different of a cast today, and I'm going to introduce the sub last, but we're going to start with a familiar face. We got my dog Chaos in the building. How you doing, bro?
What's good? What's good? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy to be here. You know what time it is. Here to talk about a very eventful episode of Monday Night Raw. And I'm just here, just chilling with my Master Roshi t-shirt, drinking my Wraith energy drink, which you can get 10% off if you use the code Chaos Wraith. Cheap plug for the day. And I'll leave it to you to introduce someone that is in the middle of a drug deal in Mexico.
Yeah, well, as you know, Chaos is drinking that Wraith energy drink, and normally he has a specific drink in that Wraith energy drink, and it's usually called the Tears of Soul. We got Soul today out in Mexico. Hopefully Pablo Escobar don't cut the podcast at any time. But Soul, man, how you doing, dog?
I'm peachy, I mean, put the white guy last. I mean, fair enough. Okay, I understand. I mean, I ain't gonna be that much white until I get the sunburn coming in. So, fair enough on that point of view. Nah, it's good to be here. Obviously, Chaos is drinking his little Rafe energy. I'm drinking something a lot stronger, 8%. Yoop de doo. But yeah, Raw happened. Some good, some meh, and some pretty what the hell kind of booking going on. But sure, we'll get into that.
Nah, for sure. Nah, we definitely are excited to have Soul on the show instead of the comments harassing us on every single take. He can do it live in the place. But nah, thank you for filling in. Jordy, we are not talking at the moment to Jordy. He he he
You
he
let us, you
dished
let the
us
team
too.
down.
Let the
You
team
let us
down,
down.
bro. Yeah, and Jordy, I want you to clip this and I want you to post it on your little Instagram page so your fans know we upset with you. But nah, salute to Jordy.
Little
He's a big dog.
Instagram page.
Yeah.
He has fans.
He got fans, bro. He got like million like view like clips, bro. He's the cool guy. But nah, let's get into the show. We did talk about obviously it was an eventful Monday Night Raw, and we kick off the show with the return of Rhea Ripley last week, but first talking segment from her this week comes out, cuts a promo basically saying that she wants what matters to her, and that is not Dominic Mysterio. That is that belt she has never lost. Cutting the promo on Liv, Dom coming out, um, you know, going classic Eddie Guerrero in China, which I really did like. My bro had the had the rose. He's still getting that heat. And then you get Liv on the Titantron, going crazy, bruh. Saying she a screamer. That is wild. I'm sorry, dog. She is wild. And we're continuing this, man. We get a lot of continuation throughout the show. Dom playing, like Eddie Guerrero in the whole China situation, trying to win her over, trying to, get his mommy back. Carlito doing his comedic time, and a lot of it super entertaining. And it ends off with a Jay Uso versus Dominic Mysterio match. Liv coming out, getting the distraction, a lot going on with it. Like we say every week, they kind of weave stuff through. I'm gonna kick it off to our guest Soul, because I really want to kind of know how you feel about the entire, just the whole storyline within Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. How'd you feel about everything yesterday as a whole, and are you excited for their SummerSlam match?
Yeah, Rhea Ripley has definitely been a missed presence for the women division on Raw, 100% in my mind. Having her back is really great for that brand in general. I like the stuff with her and throwing the black roses in Dom's face, like the whole Judgment Day clubhouse setting as well. The fact that Dom said that you belong to me, to Rhea, mate, can't say that in 2024. You're going to get the anchilla put right through your forehead. And also just other bits as well I thought were fun. The main problem I have with this though is why is Jey Uso involved in this? Like I really don't get that in my mind. Like this should be a fully focused on the women. Is a women's feud, and you're putting Jay in it. Like why? Jay should be at what he is right now, and that's a hot single star. He should be going after the championships. He should be doing that stuff. I mean, I don't want him involved in the bloodline because I think like you do have a top star in your hand in a singles way. Like run with it, chase it, and let him go for it. Heck, let him be the one to maybe defeat Gunther down the line because he's obviously going to put Priest right through the flooring of that ring mat at SummerSlam. But the match in general itself for SummerSlam for Liv and Rhea, I think, will be very entertaining. There's been a lot of build with this, obviously, with Liv essentially going on her revenge tour, and Rhea's essentially putting a stop to that store and continuing her reign as champion, hopefully at SummerSlam. It's obviously I always like to say, where do we go from here? Where are we going to see Rhea down the line? Will she continue just where she was before as World Heavyweight Champion for the women's side, or is Liv going to pull an upset and take the belt in a new direction? And then it really thinks to yourself, well, where does Rhea go from here? Does she just go and have a feud with somebody else on the roster? But then again, is there really anybody on the women's side of Raw that is a star power caliber to have a feud with Rhea? Because you'll need to build up a lot of people. And what we saw from this show, somebody who was built up quite well was just put through and chucked away like, a used glass here at the all inclusive resort I'm in. Haha. But yeah, nonetheless, I think it is good to have these women back with Rhea and Liv. I just am not a fan of where it could go for a potential loser between the two and why the hell Jey Uso's involved.
I hear what you're saying on that, and I don't disagree that the focus should be the women, right? Or if anything, it should have focus within the Judgment Day members. I don't think Jay is a focal point of the storyline, though. I do think it may have just been a one-off match. We'll have to wait and see because Jay really isn't doing a whole lot now, and it is SummerSlam season. Jay just trying to shoot a shot too, man. He saw Rhea Ripley is on the open market. He's trying to shoot a shot, man. And he's the one that has said it before. He'll treat
Open,
Rhea
open,
right.
Open market, Shad. I think Buddy Murphy might have a wee thing to say about that, mate.
This is K. Hey, let's not destroy kayfabe here.
Mate,
Chaos.
that died in the
Get your
'90s. Come on
man's,
now.
bro.
It died in the '90s. It died in the '90s along with floppy disks. Come on.
Nah, no, man. My thing is this, right? I don't. I think the Liv and Rhea storyline has been the best storyline in WWE at the moment, and I don't even think we need to end it at SummerSlam. Like I think this storyline can continue past SummerSlam, and I think you can get Liv Morgan to win at SummerSlam with the X factor that is Dominic Mysterio. I think he's a person that could possibly turn on Rhea, accidentally have Rhea lose. I don't know. The possibilities are endless on it. It's gonna be interesting. But I do agree with your point that the presence of Rhea Ripley, man or woman aside, just the superstar that she is always a positive to have. So um let's get some comments in, and then I wanna get Chaos's take on this because this has been me and Chaos's favorite topic to talk about for the last over a month and a half.
Yeah,
David
I've seen
Mosh.
that. I've seen that because I've seen you two drooling in the chat. I mean, come on, boys, pick up your attitudes.
Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, bro. Relax with that. All right. I have the
This
I
is
have
what
the
happens
ability.
when you deviate from the usual regular guests on a Tuesday. You get this. Anyway, carry on.
Rhea Ripley is the best, David Mosh says. He also says, heck yeah. And then yeah, he says I can't believe Liv was so sassy to Rhea. I mean, why wouldn't she be sassy to Rhea? She trying to take everything away from her, including Dominic Mysterio, which hey man, I told you, Dom. Look, man, it's easier over there, bro. You ain't gotta water the garden too much. The grass is green on Liv's side, but that's neither here or there. Chaos. Um, let me get your thoughts on everything. Last night, tied to Rhea, Liv, Dominic Mysterio. Um, break it down.
All right, make sure you mute Soul's mic before I get into this because I know he's gonna try and chime in. Anyway,
Screw you, Master
um,
Roshi.
uh, first off, I'm absolutely loving this whole storyline. It is not cooled down for me. It is definitely one of the hottest topics on Monday Night Raw. First, another thing in rebuttal to Soul was saying about Jey Uso, why Jey Uso getting involved in this. I mean, this is all kind of part of a long-term storytelling in terms of that when Jay first joined Raw, there was a point in time when actually Judgment Day was trying to recruit him. And then I remember when I think it was either Finn or JD, they were saying like, uh Priest wants you in there, uh JD Madonna wants you in, Rhea Ripley want you in there, and he was just like, for real. He was that proper like as soon as he thought that there was like like just a little inkling for him to get close to Rhea, and he hasn't let go of that since. So I think that's why it's like a continuation since then. So yeah, I mean, and it's Rhea Ripley. Why not shoot your shot, bro? I mean, yeah, you don't have why not throw your hat in there and you don't have to join the Judgment Day. So yeah, I did feel like it was out of place. It was not random. It was something to give Jey Uso to do. Because right now it's kind of floating since Money in the Bank until whenever the Bloodline thing picks up. Because I know he's gonna have a part in that. Um, and yeah, the whole thing with Eddie Guerrero and the China things that I love how that Triple H is taking inspirations from the past, but it's not too full on. He's getting some inspirations, and it still feels fresh in a way. You know what I mean? And it's still people ain't rolling their eyes over it. It's I'm pretty sure if it was back in the old regime, people would be like kind of rolling their eyes because makes it very cringe and kind of corny. But yeah, no, it was great and it was evenly done. My one little gripe was that there was I think there was some confusion in how the segments were aired. So in terms of when Dom was the first time he met Rhea backstage with Priest and they were in the clubhouse, he didn't for some reason he didn't ask about like why didn't you ask me why didn't you tell me about Rhea was going to come back last week, but they aired that one afterwards. It was like it was a sequence mishap. It was very minor, but it was a bit of a nitpick of mine. But yeah, no, I'm great I'm happy for it. I can't wait for the match of SummerSlam. My prediction for that would definitely be that Rhea is going to lose that match, and then it's going to all lead to bad blood because there's a reason why they brought back that pay per view. A lot of feuds is gonna come to a head at that pay per view, for sure. And that is definitely one of them. And I think that's probably where she might win the title back. But yeah, I feel like Dom probably is going to turn on Rhea, and then yeah, Rhea's going to be the ultimate babyface and get her title back at that pay per view. So yeah, no, it's a great setup. Love how it's going, and yeah, keep it going. And also, with Liv Morgan, in the words of Juicy, yeah.
Yes, sir, ski. Hey, man. We big Liv Morgan fans over here on our Monday Night Raw review show. If you haven't known already, that means you ain't following us as much as you should be. But
As I said,
I
she's
agree.
for the streets. She's for the streets, but she's welcome on my street. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, we all alley cats at the end of the day in this world, right? But I love the point that I think this is a feud. Like, I agree. I think you can extend this to Bad Blood, and that's a pay per view where like these type of you know real like blood esque feuds need to have a blow off at. And I think it'd be cool to give Liv a moment. Like, if Liv's title reign is a Becky Lynch title defense and win, Zelina Vega, Rhea Ripley, that's pretty good. Like, that's a pretty solid title reign. It may not been the longest reign of all time, but for a good short reign and getting those quality wins, whether they're heel tactics or not, that's good. And that's a lot better than what we had when she won it the first time under Vince, right after the Money in the Bank,
Yeah,
where it's just her and Ronda Rousey having their trash matches.
yeah.
This is the right
One
way to do it. And
Yeah.
one thing I
go ahead.
do agree. One thing I do agree with Soul is that yeah, like it's a breath of. I'm glad that Rhea's back for sure because yeah, it's sorely needed. But it's not to say that Liv Morgan was just floundering. Like she has been the she's been the hot topic. Yeah, whether she's
Hmm.
defending the title or not. So they've done it really well to cover that black spot.
I would say
So
as well, she feels like more of a champion now than with the SmackDown Women's Championship she had in the past. Like she feels
hundred
like an
percent.
actual champion now instead of just a kid.
She's
She feels.
more of a notable champion than the SmackDown champion right now. Let's be real.
I mean, come on, that last
Bailey might be
that
having great.
Shad, look, that last
Let's
championship
talk
reign.
about let's talk about it. I mean, am I wrong?
I would say that last championship reign she had with the SmackDown Championship we saw at Clash of the Castle. It felt like a child just walked into like a toy store, bought the toy belt, and
No,
then
I'm
started.
talking about between the two women's champions on the main roster at the moment. Liv is the hotter commodity as the champion in Bailey.
Oh yeah, agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, we
not no.
agree.
I agree with that. The SmackDown title reign was trash. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't good, but this one is a lot better. And you know, I think a big thing that I had going into like the draft time, right? I was like, yo, who's gonna like feud with Rhea? Rhea don't really got like all the big dogs is on SmackDown, right? They have Bianca, Jade. At the moment they had Io, Asuka. It didn't look like Rhea had a lot of competitors. Liv Morgan definitely took the opportunity and said bet and made herself a person in that same range as those women I just named. So definitely I salute her, man. She's doing some incredible work. I don't think it needs the that doesn't deserve to be not noticed. She definitely deserves her flowers, and it takes two to tango at the end of the day. But
Mm.
let's get to the next topic. And man, I'm just gonna kick it off with a comment because I feel like this overshadowed anything in regards to the actual match. It's what happened before the match, and Sheamus's new entrance theme is horrible. Numero one Superfly, bruh. What's wrong with WWE, dog? Like, what are they doing?
They literally just neutered Sheamus on live television.
Yeah, like they demoralized this man just giving him this trash. Like, come on, bro. You ain't had to death rebel him, bro. Like, now I'm scared. Like, I'm telling Randy. I know the rumor was they're trying to get Randy to change his joint. Like, people will bang theme songs that are like songs. Y'all better duck, man. Punk, you better duck. I know Soul wants that to happen. He wants a Death Rebel
No,
Punk
hang
mix.
on. Like, wait, whoa, clarification there. I hate Punk's new theme because it's a terrible version of Cult of Personality. I
It's a
prefer,
remastered version. Yeah.
yeah, I
It's
prefer the
remastered,
other
yeah.
version, but I hate this remastered version. I mean, honestly, if they were gonna try and change Orton's theme, Orton should just be like, "All right, bet, but I'm gonna poop in your handbag" or something like that, like the old days.
but um but he did have a match last night, him and Bronson Reed. He beat the big jobber. Bronson Reed is what I'm gonna call him now
But
because they're not
Shad,
giving that.
Shad, he beat Okada, but he beat Okada, Shad.
That don't matter over here. I want to ask you this though. It was after the match. You know, Pete Dunne came to help him, and then Pete Dunne attacked him. We are getting, you know, I assume a feud between these two guys. I gotta say, Twitter, I was wrong. I, I forgot Ludwig was hurt because I was complaining about that. But we are gonna get a Sheamus and Pete Dunne feud, and I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be interesting. Chaos, what are your thoughts in regards to Pete Dunne versus Sheamus being built as a feud?
Yeah, for before that, I do agree. It was so unneat. The guy didn't even have his original theme music for 5 minutes, bro. I mean, he literally came back a couple months ago and they changed it for reasons unknown. For reasons we don't know. I like the intro. They changed that. I was like, okay, yeah, that needs a bit updating because he's had that for the previous one for quite a while. But then when it dropped the new entrance, I was just like, what are you doing here? Like, who is this guy? This ain't Sheamus. This is Blameless. I don't know. It's like just some bootleg version of Sheamus. Anyway, the match itself was it was a horse match. It was hard hitting. Um, I was surprised that Bronson Reed took the L by not even a broke kick, a knee. But but yeah, it is what it is. That obviously the two main talking point is with Pete Dunne. Again, I was also surprised that he's going full heel on Sheamus. I mean, it just feels like he's just kind of petty. Like he's not that kid that just keeps on crying. You left me. You left me. Like, grow up, bro. Like, come on, just blow off some steam for 5 minutes. Like, just let them. Hopefully, this is something where they just need to have that one match and then they're cool again. You know when you like you're good friends, but all you need is to have a little scrap to blow off some steam, and then you're good the next day. Um, but yeah, I guess it gives something for Pete Dunne to do until Ludwig Kaiser comes in, because yeah, I guess that is going to be the next big mid card feud for Ludwig Kaiser, whenever that may be. But yeah, I was really surprised, but I'm here for it. Pete Dunne does work well better as a heel, as we've seen in his NXT days. And yeah, I'm here for it. I just hope it doesn't bury Pete Dunne. I think he probably needs the W more than Sheamus, if I'm honest with you. But obviously they're celebrating anniversaries and whatnot. But yeah, all unexpected, but I'm loving it.
I'm 100% with you on that. Like, and I rock with Sheamus, and I think he definitely is one that has, in my opinion, since I remember watching him when he debuted in ECW to where he is now, I would have never guessed that he would have as fruitful of a career, long lasting of a career, and that's amazing to see. But like, it is a point where it's like, yeah, but you kind of done all you really could do, right? It'd be cool to see him kind of give a young up and coming guy like a Pete Dunne or a Ludwig Kaiser an opportunity to get over him and kind of, help jumpstart their career and let them become a main stage as a, potential high mid card, maybe a main event type of act. You kind of got to wait and see what goes on with that. But Bronson Reed, I don't know what we doing with you, brother.
Mm.
You may need to like repackage your gimmick or like get a one of those like Crash Bandicoot masks and join the Wyatts. But
Oh my god.
He needs to be
right.
bigger. He
But
needs he needs to be bigger, Bronson Reed. Then we'll get some real things going on. Bigger Bronson Reed.
hopefully not. But
This isn't my
um
final form.
right, he turned the freezer. But nah, man. What is big time is the sponsors that we do work with, and those are our good friends at Next Level, man. They are the one-stop shop that provides you all Wrestling Republic based links in one place. If you want to find our website, Instagram, Twitter, uh, what is it, Twitch, TikTok, it's all listed there. There's a lot of great stuff happening on at Next Level that they are working with in the community of professional wrestling. They got a little group where a lot of other content creators in the wrestling space are a part of. So you can also join that. And I mean, they like to give free stuff. That's kind of my main thing. I'm a person that loves free stuff. You'll find me at the Costco going crazy with the samples, but they can give you better stuff, man. Like maybe they can get you to WrestleMania, or maybe they can get you some bucks to buy some stuff from the WWE shop, or maybe they can get you the newest copy of the WWE 2K game. Follow them, like, comment, and subscribe on everything they do as well as us. And yeah, you're gonna see some crazy stuff in the future with them as well as us. But let's get to the next good old topic, and I'm gonna pull that up. And this is actually something that's more uh, of something I liked a lot, and I thought this was probably the high point of the show, and it was the promo exchange between Gunther and Damian Priest. Obviously, these two got a big time match coming up at SummerSlam, and it really, really feels like Gunther is about to go on another like monumental run if he does win that title. I love the heel that Gunther is. I thought he really was playing that arrogant, a-hole type of role towards Priest, and I thought Priest held his own too. I thought they both kind of had a good exchange, and they got me excited for it. I think this is a this is interesting because this is in a way is a passing of a guard of two guys who kind of came up in the same era in a sense. I know Gunther came in a little after Priest, but these were hot hands in NXT brand come to the main roster and they haven't missed a step. They have become notable main event guys. So I am excited, but I do want to know. So what were your thoughts on the promo exchange between Gunther and Damian Priest.
You guys will have known that I've been very critical of Priest over the last couple of months. Not really taking him seriously. Not really enjoying his title reign. But I'll throw my hands up here right now and I'm saying I actually really thought that was the best promo he's cut in the WWE. Personally, I really enjoyed it. I actually think of him as now quite a credible champion now. The only thing is you're going against Gunther and then you're just screwed at that point. Um, the thing is with SummerSlam goes into Bash in Berlin afterwards, I believe. Like Gunther's going to obviously go in there as champion. Who he faces maybe could be a Jey Uso situation there, or maybe even a rematch with Priest. But the whole promo itself was quite personal as well. Like Gunther being like, "You were a street rat and you didn't have anything," and I was like, "God damn, is this how it felt watching Triple H and Booker T back in the day?" I was like, "Jesus, this is getting a bit personal now." I was kind of getting weird vibes of Rishi Sunak complaining, "Oh, I didn't have Sky TV. You know, I'm sorry." Yeah, I'll talk about that. I like it. But nonetheless, I think these two will put on a very stellar match at SummerSlam. Um, it does make me think, though, will there be a situation where Finn's like, you're going to need our help. We can't just let you do this on your own. And Priest is like, no, all my champions' defenses, I've had people cost or situations. I want to be my own man. I want to be my own person and go for it. And then Priest is just like, doing his thing. And then Balor comes in and be like, yeah, nah, and just costs him it because he won't accept help. Maybe, but I think nonetheless, these two will put on a stellar match at SummerSlam.
Sure, and I do think my bad, my mic slipped for a
I mean, I
second.
know, I know you just like seeing my
Not
face, Shad, but you could have just said it.
nah, but man, you know what's I feel like we say this every week, and Chaos can attest to it. I really think people hate on Damian Priest's title reign a little too much. Not saying you are, but like that's a very common notion to people where it's like, yeah, he's not a real champ, his title reign or whatever. And I'm like, all right, what do you not like about the title reign? And then it's kind of they're like, you know, I don't know. Like he's had pretty good matches. He's had pretty good programs. Um, he hasn't been boring at all. I mean, the Judgment Day is probably the hottest thing, and a lot of his title reign is without having Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day. So that means he's kind of got to step up and
Mm-hmm.
take command of what keeping that unit hot. So I,
And
I think he's done a great job personally.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I'll
and,
Go
say
and
ahead,
one
Chaos.
thing. I'll say one thing really, really quick. I think what's going to elevate Priest in a lot of people's mind, and it needs to come out as soon as possible, is that 24 documentary. Because I feel like with every 24 documentary, when it was the one on Keith Lee or Drew or Sammy or the Hardys back in the day, you get more insight to them and you become a lot more personally connected to them. And I'm more hyped to see that documentary than SummerSlam, in my personal opinion, because I love the documentaries that WWE do. I think it's going to be a great insight to what Priest has done. And I think that's really what's going to flip people's minds on him.
yeah, yeah.
For, sh-
Yeah, definitely.
for sure.
One thing I will also just quickly add is that yeah, like I'm actually enjoying Priest's reign more because of the slow burn that they're doing of his eventual face turn. I think they're doing it very expertly well. It's not full on. It's just like these little teases. It's like they did it in the match against Braun Strowman. You know, you see that he was obviously wondering like how is he going to take down this monster and whatnot, and he did it strategically. And then when he won, he was just like, oh shit, like if I can beat Braun Strowman, I have a hell of a
Yeah.
chance against Gunther. You know what I mean? And it was done really
Mm-hmm.
well. So yeah, it's great, great power to him.
Great point. That's a very good TV match
You saw
win
it in his face,
versus
like he
some
was like, "Oh my god!" Like
like
it's good.
that's a big deal. You know, obviously I know Braun ain't in the title picture, but like he's still a like you said, he's a tall task to try to beat for anybody for how, dominant of a big man he is. So that's a great point. Yeah, we this is definitely a hot feud going into SummerSlam. And I'm excited for it. Another thing I am excited for, obviously, is Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. And we got Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce's conversation, quote unquote apology to was supposed to be the refs, and he ain't want to give it, right? He refused to give it, and he is docked another suspension. I'm curious because obviously we had Seth pop out right at the end in that thing as well, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm gonna ask you, Chaos. What do you think is the direction? Right? Are we going with the ticket match that is Drew versus Punk, or are we going with the triple threat match, which is also a ticket match, but it is a little bit of a pivot? What do you think the direction is, as well as just everything Drew yesterday too?
I thought you was gonna say is that they're gonna go with Drew or Punk, or they're gonna go with Drew against Aiden Pierce, because boy, the way that Pierce was looking to square up into Drew last night, I was like, yo, he's ready to put their boots back on. But uh I don't know where they're going with it, and I think that's for this feud. I'm happy with that. I think most likely it's definitely going to be Punk versus Drew. The only reason they would do the triple threat is just to protect Punk because he's not fully healed. And if that is the case, then don't run the match. Everyone wants to see the one-on-one because I think there's a better story told to be told there. So I mean, yeah, the whole segment. I mean, he's such a dumbass. He's so petty, and you love him for it. You know, he came in straddling in with his old leather stuff, like some BDSM Scottish guy. And then yeah, it was all trying to like kiss ass and brown nose Adam Pierce saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry," and then but he couldn't do the one simple thing, even if you don't mean it. Just say sorry, done. You got your match, done. Nah, brother, want to be flipping moaning at them. Is again, but I love it. Is playing the blame game. First, it was Seth's fault. Then it was Punk's fault. Now it's the ref's fault that is not champion. Like he just can't make his mind up. He just don't want to take the blame for it. But yeah, that's his whole stick. I think I said it one time in one of the dailies a few months ago. His whole point, his whole stick is about blaming other people for his downfalls. And yeah, he plays it well to a T. Whether this match is happening at SummerSlam, I mean, it has to, right? Surely. I think they're going to run it at SummerSlam. And again, I think it's going to come ahead to Bad Blood because that's the whole point. You know what I mean? That is meant to be the new quote unquote Hell in a Cell, if you will, but just don't do every match with Hell in a Cell, please. Please, God, please. So, yeah. Either way, it's still the fact that they kept this thing so hot since Rumble till now is absolutely a feat in its own. And yeah, I just can't wait for them to finally actually announce. I don't know how they're gonna get around it because it's still suspended, but we got 2 weeks, right? And yeah, just looking forward to it. So yeah, no complaints here on my end.
Here's the thing, Kills. Drew McIntyre suspended, but Drew Galloway isn't. Ooh, he's gonna
Oh
come
my
out
gosh, this guy.
as
This is
Why you
real,
why you why are you wishing for things like that, bro? What is wrong with you,
bro.
That's such a Vince
Jordy? Where
thinking.
you at, man?
Bro, I'm in an all-inclusive resort. Do you not think I'm half cut?
You had an all
No,
you had an all
it-
inclusive result thing about TNA on a
you know what
Monday
he's gonna
Night
do?
Raw.
You know what he's talking about? He's gonna do a loophole and he's gonna show up at NXT and then use his TNA name, Drew Galloway, to go to TNA and start Claymore kicking people. Yeah, he can't use it on the main roster. TNA doesn't exist on the main roster.
It doesn't, and it won't. Number one, Superfly said totally random thought, but I legit thought Drew was gonna dive into the crowd, high five fans, and kissing babies to pretend like he was on his best behavior.
I mean, he was high
Um,
fiving people at his entrance, but it's a tweener. It's a super tweener. He's been doing that
No,
ever
here's the
since.
thing,
Like,
though. He should have done that, and then when he was told no, he should have pulled a Snitsky and punted the baby.
kick the baby, don't kick the baby.
you know what's
If you know, you
crazy?
know.
Yeah, bro. Well, I went to a Comic Con and I went to the I got to ask interview the leader and Trish, and I asked them like, yo, if y'all could recreate like a storyline in the modern day, what would it be? And that's the thing she said. She's like, I want to see someone recreate Gene Snitsky and punt the. I'm like, Lee, that's crazy. She
Yo,
was obviously being sorry. She was joking around, but hey man, salute to
Shad,
leader.
Shad, we have Liv, Rhea, and Dom. We can do it. That's the next story.
Hey man.
maybe. I mean, they had the perfect person to do it, but he canceled himself, and that's Lars Sullivan. So I don't know how you're gonna do that. He was the
On
perfect
that
person to do
note,
the punt.
Hey, he has a 5-star match from Meltzer.
all right, on that note, and Kurt Angle doesn't. On that note, next topic, man. Speaking of Kurt Angle, by the way, we got what we've been finally waiting for: the Creeds and Chad Gable aligning, creating a unit. And Chad Gable said, "You know what, man? I'm not having this no more. I want to take on the Y6. He calls out Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas comes out there, uh, and they're just beating him up, and he's laughing, and he's smiling during all of it, and then the lights hit, and then the Y6 come out. So this is the first time we've seen them all in a ring together since the initial one where they kind of wreaked havoc and we thought killed Chad Gable. But I mean, it's interesting because we are going to see a Wyatt Six versus a Team Gable scenario. I mean, we still got Team Gable that's got to settle the score with Otis and Tozawa and I guess Xavier Woods now. And I mean, it's a lot going on as well. I do got to say this is not on the topic of written down. The VHS Eric Rowan's promo last night was
Mm.
so heartfelt, and that was probably the best one that I've seen thus far because you felt a lot of emotions. Maybe besides the initial Bo one too, but like him, saying I lost my brother, talking about Luke Harper, Brody, and then talking about Bray losing his other brother. It was really good, but so I want to know what are your thoughts? Everything Wyatt Six and Team Gable, because I'm gonna be real with you. I don't like it too much because I don't want Team Gable to lose.
See, that's the thing here, mate. This is two big factions with the run that Gable's had and the Y6 that's the history behind it that need to be established, right? But when you have two factions that really need that win and that establishment going against each other, one's obviously gonna lose. If Chad and the Creed lose, then they're not really taken as a credible threat. If the YS6 lose, people are gonna absolutely tear apart the whole WWE for this. And it's very tough because you could easily just do it as a trios match. You could do Gable and the Creeds versus Bo and two of the White Sixes. Heck, you want to get Ivy Nile involved in, you could go after the female member of the White Six. The thing is, though, is like I'm glad that they're actually finally getting to do stuff in the ring because that's the main thing. You just don't want this to just be a spectacle that doesn't translate into the world of professional wrestling because that's what it has to do at the end of the day. But the main worrying thing is that which faction will come out of this established? Is it going to be Gable, who's been killing it as a heel and now finally dividing with the Creeds? Or is it going to be the faction that's printing money like mad with the merch and all that and has the spooky aesthetic that you want to build up? Now, here's the thing as well, though. If you build up Gable and the Creed, Gable could easily go for the Intercontinental. The Creed could go for the tag titles that are currently held by DIY. Is it, or is it DIY? Is it Judgment Day? I forget the brands. Judgment Day. Sorry,
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. Like too many tag belts. Just make one for God's sake. You could have Creed brothers go after the Judgment Day for the tag titles, and then obviously I said Gable with the IC or even the World Heavyweight Championship. The problem with the Fiend when it first debuted is that it was merely thrown into the title picture. Wyatt Six's whole thing shouldn't be about titles. So at that point, is do they really need the elevation when they are over and selling merch like mad? Unlike anything like Gable and the Creeds. That's the hard thing between it. And honestly, I don't know if a match is announced for SummerSlam, which team will come out the victor and maybe in a better position for it.
And that's kind of where I am at because I think of I feel like the shelf life of the Creeds is like a lot more sustainable for years upon years upon years. Just seeing how young they are and how talented they are, and like we've been complaining about the tag team division and in North America AEW WWE, especially on the main roster for quite a while now, and like the Creeds are like a team that they be teasing and then they just completely like take it out of our hand, right? Like I feel like they one of those guys that like in any other era, you have like like Brock Lesnar is always gonna be my go-to person, right? Like a person that is just a former collegiate wrestler, straight athletic beast. You push them to the moon. They got two guys who are in that mold that who could be like they could be like a modern day Steiner brothers given the opportunity. So
Yeah,
feeding them to the wolves, with the Wyatts is a little is risky. It's very
that's why.
risky, and I hope they go
Yeah,
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, that's what annoys me. I'm kind of annoyed that they've actually waited this long for them to show up against Gable Side. Like, I was totally expecting them to fully wipe out the Alpha Academy. That would give them, I think, enough momentum if they have them, make them have a couple tag matches to completely dismantle Otis and Tozawa, and then Ivy now probably go and turn on the female. I forgot her name.
Maxine.
Maxine. That's it. Maxine Dupree. That's the one. Yeah. And yeah, I feel like there would have been enough momentum, but now because they've joined in this feud right now, they've already been made to look like goobers, and you shouldn't be doing that with them. I agree, they have so much potential. Like you said, they've been teasing them to be the next champions, and they have yet to claim it. They've been so close yet so far, and yeah, it's just that's why I'm very annoyed. I'm a bit annoyed, not very, just a bit annoyed that they didn't debut them and dismantle Alpha Academy, and then go for the White Six, but it is what it
For
is.
sure, for sure. And now, obviously, we're gonna get to the last topic in a second. But numero one Superfly says neither faction should be losing right now. They should face other teams or factions first before they face each other to build factions credibility. I agree 100%, brother. Like,
What other factions are there though? What, the
I
Bloodline?
mean,
Come on,
it's well for the Wyatts is I ain't gonna lie to you. The Wyatt one is a tricky one to book, and a lot of
that's
people
what I'm
been
saying.
saying that too because they like man, we could talk about that for a while, but like y'all know
They might have to
it's
be brought to
tricky,
the
bro.
table. They might
But
have to be brought to the table.
You
that
know,
might have
David's
to be
gonna
brought to the table because
David's gonna
I
kill
gotta
us.
lie, and
What you say,
no, it
so?
ain't
What you say,
nothing
so?
disrespectful.
Oh,
You
David's gonna
said
kill us.
David.
Is like
David's gonna get mad at it.
he's gonna be like,
uh-huh.
we're tearing apart the Wyatt Six, and he's like, bro, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the.
It ain't tearing it apart, but we could talk about it on the table. But let's get to the main event, right? We had an Intercontinental Championship match, Ilya Dragunov versus Sami Zayn, and I'm just gonna be straight up with you, man. We are giving us the same exact finish every Braun Breaker episode, bruh. And I'm kind of getting like I'm liking it because he's so talented, but it's like come on, bruh. We really we don't want to beat this to a drum, in my opinion. I feel like there's a lot of talent with Braun, and I feel like him potentially doing the same spot. I get it. You got the cam and you see him running laps and he hits it. It's amazing, but I don't. We gotta we can freshen stuff up a little bit, in my opinion. But I'm thinking we lead into a triple threat match at SummerSlam. Chaos, what do you think? What did you think about the main event, and then just the direction in the IC picture?
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the writings on the wall. Pretty much, I agree. It's definitely starting to run its last legs in terms of the overhead shot, and then the finish to a majority of matches that way he just attacks certain people. It was a bit of an annoying. Uh, it was a bit annoying in terms of he gets escorted out of the building. When that happened so early in the night, I was like, yeah, he's definitely going to be showing up at the end. And the way they said that that the IC match was the main event, he was definitely going to show up. But then nothing happened. That no security came out when he interfered or tried to stop him. They just let it happen after all that talk from Adam Pierce, and it doesn't really make any sense. So I felt it was a bit lazy on their end. It's definitely gonna go to a triple threat. Dragunov deserves it. Sami Zayn deserves it, and so does Braun Breaker. I feel like they're gonna do that, and then probably Dragunov is gonna take the fall, and to protect Sami because they love Sami so much, arguably a bit too much, but that is what it is. But yeah, he's definitely going to win the title at SummerSlam. He has to. Like, he's got so much momentum right now. So yeah, it's just a bit annoying how they put that match together, but the match itself was fun. It was fun. They got great chemistry. Couple close moments, false finishes, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it just shows what they could potentially do when they're all in a match. You know what I mean? So yeah, the writing's on the wall for a triple threat at SummerSlam. Braun Breaker's gonna definitely win. They want him to win at one of the big pay-per-views, and yeah, he's gonna go on a tear with it. So Sami Zayn had a decent reign with it. Fair enough. Time to move on now. Next.
I don't like how you talk about Sammy that way, but I don't disagree with a lot what you're saying though. I'll say this though, I don't want Ilya Dragunov to fall in the same place as Bronson Reed. Like he just becomes kind of the fall guy, very good worker, but he's gonna be able to take L's. I think he's got more of a trajectory than that, a potential IC champ too. But we'll have to wait and see. But I definitely
Potential
think
world
this is
heavyweight
a
champion as well. Not for a while,
world heavyweight.
but potential world
Yeah,
heavyweight champion in my opinion.
yeah. Out the gate, like at least mid card title in the next six
Yeah.
months. But yeah, world heavyweight champion in a couple, like in a year or so. You could definitely build him up for that. He's definitely built built like that. So same question to you, bro. What is your thoughts on just the this IC title picture leading into SummerSlam?
Here's the main problem, right? Bronson lost clean to Sammy at Money in the Bank. Why is he still like a possible contender for this, bro? You lost clean. Like that's what I really don't get. And now they're just continuing like nothing happened. I feel like this is a truly big problem with Triple H's booking. He'll just give wins to people because they're in their home country. Like look at Clash of the Castle and people now. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Like Isla Dawn was jobbing to Stephanie Vacure, who just debuted, who is a tag team champion. You literally mean nothing then if you're jobbing to somebody who's just brought in and having their first match on a live event and you hold a championship. Then you and the championship mean nothing. I'm sorry. You mean absolutely nothing. I mean, it might be a bit harsh, but like, how else can you perceive that as a champion in WWE and you're being beaten by somebody who's literally just stepped into the door? The whole Bronson Reed loss at Money in the Bank, I feel like was truly just because Sammy was in Canada. It was in Canada. We had to give him the win to make the crowd happy because Cody was losing with the Bloodline main event. And now they've thrown ourselves into a situation where they have somebody hot heel wise as Braun Breaker, and now they're just doing a rinse and repeat. But they're going to do it as a triple threat, so we could blame it on Ilya Dragunov maybe at SummerSlam. I mean, like, look, if you want to do anything, put Braun Breaker on speed. Like, use his quickness and effectiveness as a selling point. Imagine if you like scroll onto Twitter and you see Braun Breaker with the championship, the speed championship, that again means nothing, and he finishes the match in 1 minute 20, or even 50 seconds. Like just literally big squash matches. You sell that guy's speed and ferocity, and then you could just have him come on to like main roster stuff that's outside because speed is its own little bubble because Andrade didn't come out with the belt at Money in the Bank, and just have him dominate there as well. You could literally have him be a double champion but only advertise one championship, like be IC or World on the main roster, and then Speed is still his little own dimension. I just think with the loss of Money in the Bank to Braun, they've really shot themselves in the foot here of like, are we just going to rinse and repeat until the time is right to pull off it and put the championship on Braun?
So you're saying to put the
Bro,
to put
no,
no
man,
no.
no.
Let me just get this straight. Let me just get this straight. So you're saying they should
Hey,
put him on an outdated narcotic drug? Okay, cool.
you want him to act like Carlton in that episode of Fresh Prince at the school dance, huh? Take that speed.
You know,
Nah, bro. Did you really just suggest that this man should be the speed champion?
what else? What else do you like want to do with it? Speed means Jack. Andrade has been given a consolation prize for coming back to the WWE, and it's like, here you go, do your little thing.
He
Like,
get to
like what?
travel with his wife, man.
Cool,
But
good for him. But like how else are you going to make Speed entertaining for people? And when you've got somebody who's got that quickness and ferocity of Braun,
that
look,
ain't for us to review or care about. This is about Monday Night Raw.
the dude lost clean with the IC Championship. Why is he back in the title picture all of a sudden?
That don't mean he got to win the speed title as a
See, chaos.
consolation
See,
prize.
keep chaos. Sorry, I've destroyed you with facts and logic.
No. There is, and it all depends on if Sammy wants it. Sammy most likely he doesn't deserve it, but the same thing was as what they said with Dragunov. Sammy wants to face Dragunov. Sammy is that idiot that is going to say, "I want Braun." So
So
why not give it to him?
so Sami
Whose fault
Zayn.
is that then?
Hey,
So Sami Zayn's
I,
as big as an idiot as Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, basically.
we gonna have to end it off there, guys. But that's a funny way to end the show. Thank y'all in the comments for commenting and rocking with us and watching the whole show. Remember we back tomorrow same time. You can see the times below. And yeah, man, keep supporting NXT off the air tonight. take it to the table. I'm sure
Quick,
Chaos
quick,
got
quick
some
promo.
stuff.
Quick promo. Sorry,
Go
sorry,
ahead, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry, Chad. Sorry, sorry.
Give you the solo.
Ben can
Give you the
ban me,
solo
whatever.
for it.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it's fine. It's
tune in
fine.
for more episodes of the Soul Sessions on the Soul Sessions official YouTube account. Thank you very much, Chaos. Oh, you're a king of
All right,
All
mute. All right, go
right.
ahead.
On Thursday, we are gonna be. I'm gonna be dropping our next episode, top 10 best matches of the year on PLEs and pay-per-views as well. Myself, Soul, David Sheldon, and also Ben Allison will be on that panel. We're gonna be reviewing and giving out our individual top 10 favorite matches of the year so far, the past 6 months. Be sure to check it out Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time. And yeah, usually the usual time for daily, it'll be on that time for Thursday. So be sure to check it out.
For sure, for sure. That's all we got for today, man. Y'all be easy. Peace, peace, peace. I
Peace.
don't know what that is behind him.